Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Gabin from Design Tribe, and today I'm going to be redesigning this flyer with you so you can actually see how I realize this step by step. Let's get straight to it. First things we want to do is to create our project file, and for this we are going to be using a project dimension of 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels, and our resolution is going to be 300, and we are going to click on OK. Now I'm going to import the background. For this design I actually used a texture, so I'll just drag this texture into my background like that, and I'll just scale it up to fill the whole screen. I think something like this is going to work perfectly for this design. So once I position it like that, the next thing I'm going to do is to apply a gradient map, and I'm just going to go down here to my adjustment layers, and I'll select gradient map, and I will come to the gradients here, and I'm going to choose this particular color, this one, like that. And once that is selected, I'm just going to cancel this. In case you don't find all these gradients, just go up to Windows, go to gradients, and when this gradient tab opens, click here and you click on legacy gradients. It's going to load up many more gradients for you to be able to choose from, just as a plus, as an addition to these normal gradients you find here. So when you open up legacy gradients, you actually have many more gradients you can play around with, but for this case we are going to stick to the ones that we find under blue, which is actually this one. Okay, that's it. So now we are going to begin to add the other details into our design, the logo, the theme of the program, and every other detail. So the first thing I want to do is to bring in my logo. I'm just going to drag this now, drop into my design, and I'm going to scale this down to about this size, and I'll position it somewhere up here like that, and maybe slightly increase the size of this background image. I'll just click on it, control, and I'll press Ctrl T or Command T on my keyboard, and I'm going to scale this a little more like this, and I'll bring it down so that the logo can have a little more space to breathe. So once I position that, I'm going to now add this header, like the title of the program itself. So let me move this to the side a little. When dealing with these textures, you need to be adjusting it as you proceed. So now I'm going to select the fonts that I'm going to be using for this is Taruno. It's a font you can download online for free. So I'm going to select, I think I used the white bold version. I'm going to click here, increase my font size, I think to about 48, and I'll type in upgrade. Then I'll flip the color to white, and make sure it's above all the other layers, and Ctrl T. I'm going to scale it down to something about this size. Then I'll still go back to my background and maybe scale it up a little. Yeah, I think this size is pretty okay. What I'm trying to do is to create enough space here for this text. So now I want to align this upgrade with this, with the logo, so they actually are on the same line. So as I move it down, I may use a guide, just pick a guide here and position like that, so they are all on the straight line. And now I'm going to be adding the other text. I'll just copy this like that, Ctrl C. Now I'm going to click here and paste the text like this. Ctrl V, select everything, take the font size to say 10, and I'm going to change the font to, let's say, Montserrat. I think regular can go, and I'll hold Alt on my keyboard, Alt or Option, and press the down arrow key to increase the line spacing like that. And then I'm going to expand this. I don't want it to break some words, so I'm just going to split it like that, and I think we are good to go. I'll just drop the font size a little. So the goal here is to make sure that it aligns with the word upgrade. Let me select this. You want to make sure that it aligns with the word upgrade, so I'm going to drop the size of the font a little, and I'm just going to position it here. So I think I'm going to step down this upgrade a little. Yeah, let me step it down with the logo too, so they are not too far off from the page. So we are going to be adjusting this as we go ahead. So now the next thing we want to do is to create the title of the program. So it's actually an entrepreneurship masterclass. So I'm just going to click here. Now type in entrepreneurship like that, select the text, and here I'm going to use another font called Bigger like that, and I'll increase the font size to say 60. I want it to be really big. I think something like that is okay. So I'll just come here, entrepreneurship. So I split it into two like that, and I'll press Alt and Option key on my keyboard to create the line spacing, and now I'll press Ctrl C on my keyboard to increase the size of entrepreneurship to something like this. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'll press Ctrl or Command T on my keyboard to transform, and I'll right click and I'll select skew, and under skew I'm just going to skew it up to about let's say 3%. Yeah, 3%. Is good to remember the percentage, because we are going to be skewing some other elements in the design. So when you skew, it's good to have the same percentage for everything. So once we have that, the next thing is to bring in the image of the facilitator. Just drag the image and I'll position it here, and I'm going to scale it up something like this. I position it here. Yeah, I think that looks fine for me, and I'll create a line behind him. I'll use the rectangle tool. I'll just create this line here behind him like that, bring it down. I think I'll position him this way, and then I'll create a copy of that rectangle tool, that rectangle shape, and I'll bring it up like this to create more room for the other text that I'm going to be adding into the design. And I'm going to skew it and make sure it's in the same percentage like what we used last time. So I will skew it by 3%, so it all has the same perspective and same direction. So when I skew it like that, I think we can position it somewhere here like this. So the next thing is to add the master class. It's an entrepreneurship master class. So I'm going to type in master class, and for that I'm going to be using an orange or a green a yellow color in the background. So here I will select this tool, rectangle tool, and I'll go to colors, and I use my color picker tool, and I'll just come up here, and I'm going to pick up the color, any color that I want. So this is the way the color picker tool works. Here you have the hue, which is actually the color. Here you have the saturation, which is the intensity of the color. Then you have B, which stands for brightness, how bright you want it to be. Then this is red, If you want more red in the color, you can add it and you can reduce it. This is green and this stands for blue. So when I come to my saturation, I'll make it really saturated. I want the color to pop, so I'm going to come here and I'll pick this orangey color. I think this one, yeah, this is going to work perfectly for my design. So once I select that, I'm going to create the rectangle shape like this, and now I'm still going to follow the same principle. Control C, and I'll skew it like this, and make sure it's skewed to how many percent? 3%, so that everything looks the same. They'll all have the same perspective and the same direction. So you want to make sure that you don't just do this randomly. So once that is done, I'll position it here and I'll now type in master class. There is no space in master class. Select both. I'll go to Montserrat. I think for this one I'm going to be using medium, and I'll scale it down to about 18, and I'll position it here like that. Or let me say I increase it to say 24, and then same thing, Control T, skew, and I skew it to 3% so that they all align perfectly. So once that is done, I just position it here like this, and I'll use Alt and arrow left key, Alt or Option and arrow left key to close up the characters like that, and then just position it here. Next thing is to add the free tag. It's actually a free program, so you want people to know that it's actually free. So for that one, I'm going to come right up, create a new layer, and I'm going to change to an ellipse, my ellipse tool, and I'll hold on Shift on my keyboard and I'll drag like that to create the ellipse. And for this, I'm going to be using a red color like that. Once I already selected, I'll just position it somewhere here, and I'm going to type inside free. So in order not to bother myself about skewing, I'm just going to copy this text here, and I'll bring it up here, and I'll double click inside and I'll type in free, select it, change the font type to bold, and I'll take it up here, and I'll just position it inside this circle. Control T to bring it down in scale, and can now flip the color to white like that, and that part is already done with. So now it's just about adjusting the items in the design a little more. So I'll bring this back to this position. So okay, and I think I can step this up a little more so we have more space for the other details. So right now, the first thing we want to do is to bring in the dates of the program, as you see here. So first thing I want to do, let me slightly bring this down to create more space for that. Think, yeah, something like this. So to create that, what I used was the rectangle tool, and I turned off the fill, and I set the stroke to white, and I think it was at about 5 pixels. oops, let me undo. The changes I'm doing is affecting this layer. So before doing that, make sure you are on a new layer which is blank. Then you select the rectangle tool, and then you create the rectangle like this, and then you turn off the fill from here, and then you add your stroke like that. You increase the stroke width so it's a little more thicker than it looks. I think something around 10 will do just fine. And then I want it to have rounded edges, so I'll come here in this settings part of it, and I'm going to make it round like this. So in case you can't find this properties tab, because it is in this properties tab that you can modify this, in case you can't find this properties tab, just go to Windows and then you scroll down to properties, and you'll be able to find this, so you can fully customize your shape. So now I'm going to create more space here, and I'll take this text, just drag it down and go to the time is 4 p.m. April 19. So just select 4 p.m. Control V for 4 p.m. make it bold. I'll go to bold, then I'll close up the characters, the letters like that. Then I'll switch the color to white like that. Ctrl T, bring it down a little. At this point now, I'm going to skew this this rectangle to the same proportion as the text. Skew it to 3 degrees, 3 pixels, or 3 degrees, sorry, not pixels. So everything has the same direction. If you miss this point, it's really going to be difficult for you to accurately align all your elements, and the design will not really look clean. So that is why you have to make sure that everything is done with the same proportion. So once I put that, the next thing is April 19. Ctrl C, and I'll just create a copy of that like that. Ctrl V, April 19, and I want to increase the size of this rectangle. I'll just press Ctrl T for transform, and now I already have this chain activated to maintain the aspect ratio. So I'll just turn that off. I don't want it to maintain the aspect ratio, because with this chain on, if I want to maybe increase the height of this thing, you see it increases it proportionately. So I'll deactivate that and then just pull this down like this to create more space. Maybe I add it a little more. Okay, that is okay. And now I'm going to select April and 4 p.m. Ctrl T, and I'll drop their sizes a little. Nope, I need to activate this and then drop their sizes so that they are all modified proportionately. So I'll take 4 p.m. to the top. I feel like I need to increase the size of 4 p.m. It's a little too big, so just modify it like that. So as you design, you are going to be modifying a lot of things along the way. So it's not something that you just maybe do with accuracy at the first try. So be encouraged to do it several times until you get exactly what you want. So Saturday, I'm going to drop this down to, let's say, regular, and drop the font size down to, say, 10. I want it really small like that. 10 is still not okay. Let me say 9. Yeah, okay, I think we are good with this part. Then the next thing is just to add the social media accounts and the location of the church. So for that, I'm going to proceed like this. Let me just drag in my social media icons, these 3. Just drag and drop into the design, press enter, enter, oops, undo. So I'm going to scale this down, Facebook, and I'll bring it somewhere here, scale down YouTube, and I'll bring it somewhere here, and I'm going to drop this down. Okay guys, in case you are enjoying this video, please do well to support me by liking and sharing this video. And in case you want to see more of my work, you can subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new video that I get to release. Thank you for those who have been supporting by liking the videos and even sharing, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. My subscribers have greatly increased over this past month, and I'm really grateful for all who subscribed. Okay, so let me select this. I think these 3. Yep, select all of them at once and just scale them down like that, so that they all have the same size. Then align them. What order did I use? Okay, phone number, Facebook, and then YouTube. So I'll use phone number, Facebook, and YouTube in that order. Then for this one, I want it to be white in color. So there are many ways to go about that, but the easiest way is just to double click on it, and then you come to layer styles, go to color overlay, and in color overlay you select the color, click here, and you pick a white color. So I just choose white like that, and it's as easy as that. So now I'm just going to add the social media, the phone numbers, and the other details. So I'll just select this, that, Ctrl C, come here, Ctrl V, then I'll create a copy by holding Alt on my keyboard and select Christ Nation Church, paste that in, and then I'll hold Alt, bring it down, select Christ Nation Global, Ctrl V, and I think everything is good. It just needs to be well aligned now. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Now it's just for me to add the location of the program, the venue of the program. So I need to move this, all of this up. So let me select this I exclude the background and exclude this picture, and I just move them up like this, just so we have a little more space. Yeah, so yeah, I think it's a little more balanced. Now I'm going to move this guy, the upgrade, to the top a little, and this also create a little more space. Just do slight modifications like that, which will greatly improve your design. So I also select this part, then exclude the background by holding control, and I click on it. Then I'll take this out, take entrepreneurship out, then move this part up a little. Just to create a little more space. And I'll still adjust this part. So you adjust according to the way you see the design, your eyes. You want to create balance your design, so I'll keep adjusting until I have a perfect layout. So I think this looks pretty good to me, and can step this up a little. Okay, so now I'm just going to add the last detail for the design. This is the venue of the program, and I'm going to, for this at this point now, we are not going to italize again, so I'm just going to use text that is not italicized. So I'll press Ctrl V, select that, make it bold like that. I'll just position it somewhere here, close it up like that. And I'll select the other part of the text like this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl A, bring it up. Okay, bring this down like that. Then I'll select this, I'll go to regular, and I'm going to drop this size to about 10, then close it up like that. This one also, I'll space it out a little, and I think 10 will do. Should not be too small. What did I do? Maybe I used 3 lines. So you get the point. It's just about adjusting till you get the desired something that actually looks good to you. So I'll select this again, Ctrl T, just scale it down like that, and I think that is okay. Okay, so now it's just about modifying the design a little. You can see this detail here is a little too small, So I may want to drop down my entrepreneurship a little and bring this to this point. And then I'm going to select all of these other layers like this, excluding the background. Oops. Select all of these, excluding the background. Let's bring them up like that. Yeah, so I think at this point the design is pretty done and it's well balanced. So just position it like that so you get the idea. Okay, so that is it. So now all I needed to do for this design now is to enhance the colors a little more. So for the minister, I go to curves, and I make sure that I clip the curves on this layer so that it affects just the image. And then I go to the RGB curve. I just click up here, I click down here. This is a highlight area, I'll boost it slightly, and this is a shadow area. I bring it down a little so that it gives a little energy to the image. And then here under the reds, I will boost the reds just a little, and then go to green. Blues, the opposite of blue is yellow, so I'll increase the yellow by dropping the blue just slightly like that. And the final thing I may want to do is just to select the whole design from start to the end like that. Now press Ctrl or select everything, Ctrl G, and create a copy, hide the one behind, and just create I'll merge all the layers together by pressing Ctrl Shift E on my keyboard. And once the layers are meshed together, I'll go to camera raw filter, and there I can do some last minute modifications. So I'll go to contrast. So if you really want to see the effects in real time, you can click here so that it shows you the before and the after, so that you don't get to destroy your designs, because sometimes you get at this point and you overdo it. So this is just a finishing touch that you apply to your design, and not actually what makes the design too good. So it's just to do some slight modifications on your design and get it to work the way you want it to be, like a final look on your design. So I think on oranges I will just make them brighter a little like that, and maybe sharpen it a little more. And I think I like the result. Just click on OK, and that is it. That is how I designed this flyer in Photoshop. If you enjoyed it, please do well to support me by liking this video and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification so that you get notified every time I create a new video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.